What is going on? Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for being patient. If you're watching Ask the King live, but if you're watching this on demand on DSPReacts, thank you. First episode ever on the new channel. Hope you're enjoying it as well. So far, one part down. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please continue to enjoy as I answer your questions. We got many, many more questions to get through today. And thanks in advance to anyone who supports in any way. If you're live here on the stream, liking the stream, you know, engaging with me, supporting the stream via super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, tips, all appreciated. If you're watching on demand, hey, consider becoming a member. If you do, you can watch this in its entirety rather than having to wait for the parts to come out over the course of the week. That's a new feature here on the channel. Maybe a super thanks if the video is even eligible. A lot of these videos get demonetized for literally no reason, but it's the problem with YouTube these days. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump back in. Ask the King Part 2, episode 95 for March 31st, 2023. Our first question is from OP Boone, who asked the following. Phil, a new name for Ask the King could be called AMA, or Ask Me Anything. It's a popular name for that kind of format. Celebrities do AMAs on Reddit to promote their new movie or TV show. I also think it has better search algorithms than using a proprietary name, so you might reach new viewers. So, I heard of AMA. But you're absolutely right in saying I've only heard of AMA on Reddit. I've never heard of like someone doing an AMA on YouTube or something like that. Keep in mind, Ask the King predates AMAs on fucking Reddit. It does. I've been doing this show for over a decade, and that's why this show still has its legacy name. But you're right. I think people want to see me kind of phase out anything to do with calling it the King. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not getting rid of the chat crowns. Too bad. I like the chat crowns. I think people enjoy having the chat crowns and the different levels of crowns for being a member. That's not going away. But outside of that, I do hear you on all the other shows. I recently just rebranded Feasting with the King. It's now called Feasting with Phil, the Tasteful True. People seem to like the new name so far. The video's only been out for a day. People seem to like that, okay? So, what I talked about, we actually just talked about it recently. People are like, well, listen, this is episode 95. Your show's been around for a decade, right? Over a decade. Here's what you should do. Let it go to episode 100. Then you got 100 episodes of this thing under your belt, all right? Then when it's time, retire the moniker of Ask the King. Change it up. Call it something different, right? But let it hit 100. It would be a shame to hit like 90-something and then change it in the middle when we're so close to hitting that 100 milestone. I kind of agree, but I did the math, and if we do this every other month like I've been doing, what it essentially means is that this will be going into 2024, and then like that first episode of 2024, right, will be episode 100. I'll probably during that episode announce the new name so that when we continue to do the show in 2024, if we do, it'll be something different, okay? So let's think about it over this year. AMA, I don't think so. It's already been used on Reddit. If you say AMA, everyone's going to think, well, where's the Reddit thread? But maybe we could think of something better. Maybe we could think of something different. I mean, we already got Feasting with Phil or The Tasteful Truth. Those were great suggestions to fix the name of Feasting with the King. So maybe now we can think of something over the course of the year that's a little better, right? So there you go. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it collectively as a community over this year. Let's see what happens and go from there. Sound good? Okay. All right, continuing on. Lady Charisma asks the following. With the rise in games biting off of more mainstay series, where do you draw the line? Like, when does it stop being in the same genre and it becomes a full-on knockoff in your eyes? I feel like it's a very thick line? I didn't mean to say thin line. It's a very thin line. With the rise of Souls-likes, I wanted to know your thoughts. Here's the thing. I mean, definitely Soulsborne games is a great example of what's been happening in this with gaming, right? So you get one game that's so popular, now it gets a bunch of sequels, but now everyone else wants to ride that wave of popularity because everyone seems to like that style of game, right? And I totally get where that's coming from. I absolutely do. At the same time, if you're going to be making a game that's, you know, similar to what someone else did, you have to find a way to innovate, a way to make it feel a little different, a way to make it feel like it has a creative twist. I think some games do a great job at that and others don't. So let's compare two directly. You have Dark Souls and you got Bloodborne. Then you got Nioh. What Nioh does, it takes that formula and it puts it into feudal Japan, puts it with samurai, ninjas, stuff like that, some demons and stuff like that. And what it did is it took the more sluggish control scheme of Dark Souls, and it made it way more active-based, way more reaction-based. Like now, an enemy's coming at you, and almost instantly, you can do a counterattack that parries and moves them out of the way. Now you can do a big counter combo, right? Weapon variety. In Dark Souls, there's definitely weapon variety, but in Neo, you can now switch between weapons on the fly, sometimes in the middle of a combo, for extended combo ability. You have the ability to transform into a demon or summon an enemy, a creature, and that also changes the aspect. So it's like, take what they did with Dark Souls, but change it up in many different ways. The visual style, the activeness of the controls, that they're way more responsive, and the combo ability and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So all of that makes it feel unique. Now, I'm not saying it's better than Dark Souls. In fact, I don't think it is. I do think that the Dark Souls series is better than Neo, but Neo is still good. It stands on its own. Now, let's compare that to a game like, say, Lords of the Fallen. All right? Lords of the Fallen, when it came out, was so abysmally bad. It was such a pathetic attempt to bite off of Dark Souls that failed miserably. The controls felt worse than Dark Souls. The graphics, frankly, looked worse than Dark Souls. The game was buggy. The game was unfinished, wonky platforming, bad physics, enemies that you would run away from you in the middle of a fight. You would chase them down the hallway. They would disappear, reappear instantly, and have respawned with full health. The game was a piece of shit. It really was. Now, I've heard over the years, they patched it and patched it and patched it, and now it's a playable game. But to me, I always remember back to that launch experience of how bad that game was and how they really, really wanted to bite off of Dark Souls and failed so badly. It is such a unpolished, unfinished, wonky-ass cash grab style experience. And that's the difference. It's okay if you take someone else's idea and you extrapolate upon it and you add to it, right? Take a look. I hate to say it. Take a look at Fortnite. Nothing in Fortnite is original. They 100% bit off of games like DayZ. What was the other one that I played on console? They ripped off of 2 or 3 other games that were Battle Royale. And originally, if you remember, Fortnite was not supposed to be Battle Royale. Fortnite was supposed to be a tower defense game where you build a fort, hence Fortnite. In the night, it's attacked by the zombies, and you're supposed to build all these defenses towards it and keep the zombies off of you. Are there any zombies in Fortnite? No. They completely undid their idea because they realized it wasn't going to sell. So instead, they made this other idea that ripped off everyone else's. Only what they did is they added in some cartoony aspects. They already had building mechanics that were inspired by tower defense games, and they just added them into their Battle Royale game, and it made it feel very, very unique, right? It does. Fortnite, at least when people started playing it, felt unique from the other Battle Royale games. Today, it's funny because now it's the most prominent Battle Royale game, so you'd argue, oh, the other games kind of feel similar to Fortnite. Actually, no. Fortnite was late to the game when it came to Battle Royale. It was already very popular on PC way before then. Games like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and stuff did it before. Did it, bigger and better on PC. And then when Fortnite hit consoles, it was like, oh, the kids got their hands on it. It's free, so all the children play it. The kids love it. It's a viral success with kids, and it's just, made unprecedented amounts of money. It's pretty sad, honestly, because the imitator overtook the originator in that case. Like, how many people still talk about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or, DayZ, maybe a PC group, a PC game of enthusiasts, but really all the people playing Battle Royale kind of moved on to other things, and Fortnite became the prominent one, especially because of the kids, right? So it's pretty insane. Now, again, where do you draw the line? I'm okay with a game that innovates and adds something that feels unique or different. If you know you're playing a game that just feels like a knockoff, that's not good. So I already said Neo, and I said Neo did a good job. You want to know a game that did a bad job? Wolong Fallen Dynasty. That game so badly wanted to be Sekiro, but it didn't have all the gameplay mechanics of Sekiro that made Sekiro good. It tried other gameplay mechanics that don't work as well, in my opinion, and it's wonky, and it's annoying, and it's too many cheap deaths, and it just doesn't feel polished or good enough to hang with any other FromSoft game. And so, is it a bad game? No. But man, when you play it, you wish you were playing Sekiro. And that's kind of interesting, because to me, I didn't really like Sekiro as much as other FromSoft games, right? And then I'm playing Wolong. I'm like, man, I wish I was playing Sekiro New Game Plus. People are like, what? But you didn't really like Sekiro. Why are you saying that when you're playing Wolong? Because now that I've played something worse that definitely is a knockoff, that's cheap and not as good, now I respect the original more. Even though maybe I didn't respect the original as much originally, now I do. You see, it's all about perspective. So there you go. By the way, shout out to Straw Hat Man, who just became a channel member. That has now jumped us up to 92 total members and climbing. Again, that's a new record. We've never had this many members on the channel before. So thank you so much to Straw Hat Man. We're getting close to 95. Can we hit 100 today? Oh my God, that'd be pretty outstanding. We'll see. Thank you guys for your support of the stream so far. Remember, with over 200 people on the stream, guys, please consider giving the stream a like. Likes are key for engagement on YouTube. We have about 50-some likes. It would be great to hit that, and I will do a silly celebratory bubble blow for you guys if we hit the 100-like goal, okay? All right, continuing on. Our next question is from Cyrax the Rapper, who says, is it insane to think there's a scenario where you and John could become friends and start doing co-op again? Maybe even 10 years from now. It's not like you guys ever truly burned a bridge. You never said bad things to about one another. Just a lot of miscommunication. Do you know what he's up to these days? Yes, it's insane to think that. It's wishful thinking. I understand why some people think that way. It's insane to think that. I've not spoken to John since 2015. It is 2023. It has been 8 years since I said a word to John. I have now actually not spoken to John longer than the time frame when we were close friends making content together. Do you realize that? Right? Like, he started coming over my place and doing content around 2009, 2010 through 2014. It was like a 4-year period. I haven't spoken to him in 8 years. Right? It's just that people think that that time was such an awesome time. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And they just kind of reminisce back on it. Oh, the good old days, right? But the good old days have been gone for a long time. And you roll on with what's in the present, right? Here's the thing. We don't live near each other. I don't even know where he lives. When I did move, he lived in New York State. I live in Washington. There's really no opportunity to get together there, right? John has had my contact information ever since he stopped talking to me. Remember, I was the one who was contacting him, and he was upset with me for contacting him, right? He basically was giving me every sign saying, I just don't want to hang out with you or talk to you or do anything with you anymore. And he was upset with me for talking about him or contacting him. He had every opportunity to contact me. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to talk to me ever again. You know, he's literally off the internet. The guy has no internet presence. He just disappeared several years ago and hasn't put any new content up, probably for a very good reason. He doesn't want to be bothered. He wants to have an in-person life that's offline and doesn't deal with online drama. I don't blame him for that. All right? So, no, it is pretty insane and crazy, and there is zero chance that we're going to become magically friends again and start doing content together. It's never going to happen. I would say, to the extent of, if out of the blue one day, if John called me and said, I just want to talk, and I called him back and we had a conversation, you would never know about it. Because that's between us. It has nothing to do with the internet. It has nothing to do with your business. It's our business, not your guys. Okay? So, yes, I would say Cyrax the Rapper, it is crazy. 8 years is a long enough time. I think you can accept that we're never going to be getting back together as friends or anything like that. All right, even if we did, you wouldn't know about it. Too much bullshit on the internet, and it's nobody's business. Okay. Antone, by the way, people ask me questions I answered a million years ago. Why don't I call him? I don't have his information. I got rid of it ages ago when he was mad at me for contacting him. I purposefully deleted all my shit. Because remember, I was depressed. I was drinking and shit. I told you guys this in my React documentary last year. That, you know, he was upset with me for contacting him. So I said, well, what's the best way to make sure I don't do that again? Delete all his shit. So that way I can't do it when I'm drunk or depressed. And that, you know, that's why I did it. I mean, this has already been addressed in full last year when I reacted to the John and Howard videos. If you want those answers, go watch that. Okay? Thank you. All right. Antoine or Antone T, I don't know how to pronounce their name, asked a question. Very simple questions for you. Number one, does your YouTube channel have capacity for more emotes? And if so, could we import a few copyright-free Franker Face Z emotes, PogChamp, etc. for the channels? That's a mouthful of a question. Let's attack this one by one. First of all, does your YouTube channel have capacity for more emotes? DSP Gaming does not. At one point, DSP Gaming had over 1,000 members back when people were gifting tons of memberships. Okay, it's been gone for many months. So we already hit the max there. There's no way to get more. And here's the thing. Here's how YouTube works, which is really weird. Let's say, for example, right now I wanted to change an emote on DSP Gaming. There is no change emote option. There is delete and add. If I delete an emote and we don't have enough members to support that level of emotes that I have, guess what happens? You just lose the emote slot. So let's say right now there was an emote people didn't like for whatever reason. Just an example, thumbs up, which I know people like. But let's say people said, oh, I don't like thumbs up. Get rid of it. Put a new one in. Delete. Gone for good. You lost the slot. Can't add a new one. Oops. So makes no sense to do that. I'm going to keep all the emotes I have on DSP Gaming. They're going to stay there. Okay. Here on DSPReacts, I do have a new emote slot that we did not populate yet. Why? Because I'll be honest, I don't think people really care about the emotes that much here. All right. On this channel, it's more about the member. What do you get as a member? You get to post up the questions, or excuse me, to post up the videos for DSP versus the internet every week. You get to post up questions for Ask the King. You get to vote on the long form react every month. Now, as of today, you're now going to have access to the archive streams right away for members only. All this is with the reasons why people become a member here. I don't think anyone cares about the emotes. If they did, they would be asking me for more emotes, which they haven't. I told you guys a month and a half ago when I started this channel, I would love to have DSPReacts exclusive emotes that are just for this channel. Guess how many people are interested in that? Zero. No one asked, no one suggested, no one submitted, no one did anything. People just don't really give a crap. So it seems to me people would like content on the channel, but don't really care too much about that kind of stuff. Now, you're suggesting Franker Face Z and PogChamp. I have no idea. Isn't Franker Face that dog that used to be on Twitch, right? PogChamp is the freaking Gutex face. There's zero chance I'm using Gutex face on my fucking channel. I don't want him on my channel. I don't. Okay. But I don't know. Franker Face is that cute dog face. The thing is, aren't those owned by someone? Are those emotes not the property of someone? Right? I think. So I think if we're gonna do it, we have to do our own. That way, if they're our own emotes, they're to our community. And you're not going to have a chance that someone's going to try to claim or cause problems, you know. There was a time years ago, someone tried to cause me problems. They lied, and they claimed that some of the emotes I was using, they had made. It was a complete and blatant fucking lie, okay? But they still tried it, and I had to deal with that aftermath too. So, I mean, if you have your own, it's your face, it's your content, that's a lot safer than using someone else's emote from a third-party site or whatever. So if you guys are interested in having more emotes on DSPReacts, I'm down for that. I think we have at least one slot. I mean, look, we're close to 100. When we hit 100, I'm sure we're going to unlock even more. All right? But what do you want? And if you want something special, let me know. Maybe we can have someone work and maybe design something. But I would much rather have original emotes. Or if you guys just want to see me bring back classic emotes, ones that we've already had in the past, and you want to see them, you know, here on this channel as well, we could do that too. But I don't know what it is you guys would want because we haven't really talked about it. It really, again, it hasn't just been any kind of a focus on this channel. It seems it's more about the content than anything else, right? Okay. Second question from this person. Can you do a quick masterclass to train on the Stream Deck and integrate it into the streams? No. I have a Stream Deck. It was donated by a fan a couple of years ago. I didn't ask for it. They literally just sent it with something else. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were sending me this. Can't use it. It needs Windows 10 and I have Windows 8.1. And I'm not upgrading my Windows. Why? Because my computer is so outdated that if I were to upgrade my Windows, undoubtedly, things would not work with this PC. There'd be components that stop working, issues with everything. And I don't want to deal with that because it works consistently right now. There's no reason to create problems for yourself. One day, if and when I do upgrade this PC to a new one, and I have a new version, a modern version of Windows, I would be 100% in line with using a Stream Deck. I would love to, because these things, they're not working anymore. They're not. Listen to this. Ready? I don't know why. There's batteries in it. It doesn't want to work. This one doesn't work at all. and it has new batteries in it. So they don't work. All right? A Stream Deck would be amazing because then I could have sound effects, animations, things playing on the fly. I wouldn't have to do this.
Stop it. Get some help. I'd
just be able to press a button, boop, and it would play it. I could bring back from 1,000,000 years ago, 10 years ago, the Adam Sandler "You Blew It" animation. I could just press it. Every time I fail at a game, I could press it. It could be a meme that we run. We could do all these silly memes and stuff if I had them all programmed into the Stream Deck. But I don't have a new PC. I need a new PC to do it. All right? So right now, it's out of the question. Maybe in the future. All right? And then... oh, no, that's it. Those are the 2 questions. Okay, excellent. Thank you for your questions there. Let's move on. How are we doing on time? About 20 minutes? All right, we still got about another 20, 25 minutes before I split the part. Cool. The next question is from Battle Duck, who asks the following. Thank you, Battle Duck, by the way, for your question. Now that you've done a couple React sessions, both on documentaries and member-submitted videos, correct. So that would be the long-form Reacts I did on Pro Jared and Wings of Redemption, as well as my weekly DSP versus the Internet series. What is your prognosis? Do you think that this is something that can last for a good long number of years? Could it be possible to run out of content at some point in the foreseeable future and then have submitted content repeating or revolving around the same topics? If it happens sooner than you hoped, would you go back to less frequent event-style documentary Reacts? I think so far it's working. Listen, initially, and this is what happens with everything. Initially, you have interest because it's something new. I want to see what it is. And you're going to have more people watching at the beginning of something launching and being new than you're going to have a few weeks to a few months down the line. Now, the hope is it's going to catch on. You're going to have a consistently new viewer base that'll come and say, oh, I like the content, so I'll subscribe to the channel. I'll watch the content over time. Yes, it's true with DSP versus the Internet. Some of the videos, don't get 1,000 views. Some do. Some get way more than 1,000 views. It depends on the subject matter. Overall, the first episode had like 7,000 views, and each part after that only has had like 1,000, if that, right? It's on a decline because we're trying to find the sweet spot for React content. And again, when we find a video where there's something really neat that I'm reacting to, usually gets more views, right? The good news is this isn't about overall views. The channel is not supported by views. The ad revenue is nothing on this channel. Really, it's insignificant, all right? With that show, it's about more people wanting to submit the videos, becoming members, right? And it's about consistency of support during the streams. So as long as I get support during that stream every week and people consistently become a member, we're okay. Do you see the difference here? It's not like other YouTubers, oh, I'm so reliant on tons of video views and ad revenue. It's not about that at all, okay? Now, I have seen other projects doing pretty good. The long-form Reacts are doing decent. They're each getting at least 1,000 views, if more, over time. The reviews that I'm putting out, for the most part, the movie reviews and stuff, are getting about 1,000 views, if more, over time. So, again, it's subject matter related. Some subject matters people want more or less than others, and it's going to vary. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 review is probably the worst one I've done views-wise. There's other ones that have gotten over 2,000 views. So it all depends, again. But overall, it's working. Yes, it is. I can tell you this. DSPReacts has become a significant chunk of income for me and what I'm doing on the internet. And the thing is, does it take that much of investment to do it? Think about it. 1 stream a week for DSP versus the Internet. 1 stream a month for the long-form React, right? A couple extra minutes, a couple times a week for the reviews, okay? And outside of that, maybe a rare thing here or there, like Ask the King. This is something that's going to be every 2 months once, right? And the thing is, I got a lot of content. If you look at that channel, every day there's 1 to 2 new videos pumping out, right? I say that channel. It's actually this channel. Oops. There's 1 to 2 new videos every day. So there's consistent stream of content. And the channel is doing better and better every day. It really is. It's doing, oh, look at that. The income, I'm making a good amount on this month. It's adding up. And I feel it will get better over time. As we get more consistent members, as we get more people who attend the streams and support them, it will grow. This, I'll be honest, today with Ask the King, yeah, this isn't actually going so well. But this is something I do every other month. It's a legacy show. Maybe people are just tired of this. I don't know. This is something that I've told you guys for the last 2 years. I thought of phasing out of my content. And for some reason, people kept demanding that I was doing it. But here we are. We're more than halfway into the show. We're not even close to the tier 1 tips goal. I would say we got a good amount of 5 new members is nice. But obviously, I think people are actually kind of bored. This is one of the lowest attended streams I've ever done on the channel here. So maybe people are just tired of Ask the King. Maybe it is time to hang it up. Maybe we do 100 episodes and we just retire the show. You know, let's see. But again, it's up to, like everything, it's up to you guys, right? It really is up to you guys what works, what doesn't, what we continue, what we don't do, right? It's really up to you. Hey, if you're watching this on demand, let me know what you think. Do you still like the show? If you do, what do you like about it? What could improve about it? Why do you think that today is such a slow day? Because again, I told you, primarily the income I make on this channel is revenue during the streams and memberships. Well, this is one of the lowest streams I've had in ages. Okay, just being honest. And we have 5 new members. So does this support an entire daytime stream? Honestly, no. I probably could have done a lot better doing something else. But it's really, it's an experiment. It's the first time we're ever doing this on DSPReacts. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. We had double the viewership on my podcast today. I don't know. All right, so Battle Dog, I hope that answers some of your questions. Now, we have Mr. Nashville, who asked me rapid fire questions. Okay? I'm going to do my best to answer each one of these. Let's see. Question number 1. Do you enjoy Resident Evil 4 Remake or Resident Evil 2 Remake more? I would like to reserve my judgment until I beat them both. I think that they both shine in their own rights. Resident Evil 2 is probably the best way you could take a classic game from the 90s and turn it into a modern game. But Resident Evil 4 is doing a really great job as well. Okay? The thing is, Resident Evil 4 was more modern to begin with. So do you have to change as much with Resident Evil 4 to make it feel like a better modern game? No, you don't. At the same time, the things they've added have been quite good. The new things they've added, I've really enjoyed. You see? So again, it's kind of a mix. Do I like them both? Yes, I do. What's better? I can't answer that yet. Question number 2, do you like to eat mashed potatoes? I like fresh mashed potatoes. Like you take real potatoes, you mash them up, and you make them fresh, maybe with a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of seasoning, garlic, salt, something like that. It's great. I really don't like instant mashed potatoes. I don't. I think that they're kind of like grainy, and they're not as flavorful. But, you can't always make fresh mashed potatoes. It's a lot of work. So, fresh, yes. Instant, no. Are you looking forward to Diablo 4? I don't know how to feel about Diablo 4. When Diablo 3 was coming out, okay, I was basically in a situation where I loved Diablo 1 and 2 in the 90s. I absolutely loved them. I really did. And I was thinking that Diablo 3 was going to be another hit. I did. I thought that Diablo 3 was going to be like, wow, it was going to really catch on with my audience. And people were going to see my passion for that style of game, and it was going to be addictive and fun. But keep in mind, Diablo 3 came out before I was doing live streaming direct capture stuff. It was like right before. I think it was StarCraft and Diablo 3 was like right around that time or right before. So, what ended up happening was it came out and people hated it. They were absolutely bored by my Diablo 3 playthrough. Now, if I was an interactive streamer, maybe it would have worked. Maybe if I was talking with people and constantly interacting and we're having chill streams of it, like late night relaxing or having conversation about other things other than the game. You know what I mean? The social interaction we have during streams like we had over the years, Minecraft or Oblivion or other like Fallout games. Maybe if it was like that, it would have worked. But it wasn't. It was a focus solely on the game. And people really didn't seem to like it. It was actually, out of all the playthroughs I've done, one of the least successful ones I did for the amount of time I invested in it. People didn't like it at all. Okay? So maybe today it would be a little different if I played Diablo 4, because now I actually have chill streaming. Like the same time frame that Diablo 4 is coming out, so Street Fighter 6. So maybe I could split it and it could be full days of Street Fighter 6 where the first portion is online content, then we do the story at night. Then the next day we do Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4, and we alternate, and we have Diablo 4 every other day. Maybe then it would work as a chill stream kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? But I just think Diablo 3's formula did not work for the time frame that I was making content and the kind of content I was making. Do you understand? So, am I looking forward to Diablo 4? Maybe, maybe not. I'm curious about it. Do I want to play it? Yes. But at the same time, I'm apprehensive I'm going to buy it and everyone's going to hate on it again. I like Diablo 1 and 2. I think Diablo 3 was good. I don't think Diablo 3 was as good as 2. But it's still a pretty good game. I don't know if people are going to like it or not. I guess we'll have to see. Okay? All right, next question. Are you looking forward to Street Fighter 6? Yes, I am. Why? Because for the first time ever, it sounds like Capcom has listened directly to the consumer. And instead of just making a game just for the pro players, that's a tryhard's fucking online, paradise, they're going to have a lot of content for other people. An offline single player mode where you can create your own character, go throughout the world, fight, against, opponents that are controlled by the computer, but you earn abilities, you level up your character like an RPG, you're building the character's moveset, which is really neat and never been done in a Street Fighter game before. It has been done before, but it was actually in the Soul Calibur series that did it back in the day. I remember having Soul Calibur on Dreamcast, and it had the same mode where you could go around the world, you fight, you earn new weapons and abilities, you could customize your character as you played, and this game is doing the same kind of thing. It's been a long time since we saw something like this in any kind of a mainstream fighting game. That sounds exciting to me, because it sounds like single-player content anyone could enjoy, but then you're going to have the whole complex, robust online system of all the competition of these characters. There's a ton of characters at launch that are going to be in it. Now we're seeing new gameplay of Cammy and Manon, if it's Manon or Manon, I don't know how to say her name, and Zangief and other characters. Like, oh, this looks really neat. This gameplay we're seeing looks fun. The characters are playing differently. This is nice. I can't wait to play the game and jump in and play it in different ways with different characters and stuff. So it looks great. It really, really looks great. Every aspect. So even though I'm going to be playing it in more of a casual capacity, I'm going to be covering it a lot. And I hope you guys will join me in June. Okay? What is my height? I am 5'11" and a half. So technically I'm 5'11". They don't give you an extra half inch when they measure you. So I'm like 5'11" and a half, just under 6 feet. Which is your favorite memory when you were playing Street Fighter competitive? That's too hard to call. First of all, it was a long time ago. I would really have to think hard about the various different accomplishments and things that I did. Obviously, being there on stage, on EVO, the only remaining representative of the United States, and holding my own, not getting bodied, but instead having close matches with a Japanese player, that was pretty awesome. And then, the years after that, like I said, that year when I went all around and I qualified at every major EVO qualifier in the country, and I had a spot from like 6 tournaments in the finals, that was amazing. Amazing feeling. That was really a way to show that no one could talk shit and say that it was just a fluke, because I had the definitive evidence to show that I was good. And then people just forgot about that evidence like it never existed, which is hilarious that people forget the history selectively to try to prove a toxic point because they're a bunch of scumbags. But yeah, that was, some of the parts. There's other parts, just fun hanging out with people and stuff. There's various different things that have happened, but I'm not going to sit here and just dwell on it all day. So, long time ago. Who would I consider? Would I consider releasing a song someday? Like me singing? I don't think I really have the chops for that. People have remixed my voice to do various songs and things over the years. You hear it every day on my pre-streams and on commercial breaks. Am I actually going to make my own music? Probably not. Okay? Have you watched anything else on HBO Max after the Last of Us TV series? TV-wise, the only other show that I've watched on HBO Max, and I'm watching it slowly, Curb Your Enthusiasm. The show written by Larry David, the co-creator of Seinfeld. I actually really like this show. I think it's funny as shit. I always heard about it. I'd never seen it. And now I'm watching it slowly, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it's a great show. In a lot of ways, I swear to God, it feels like my fucking real life. It really does. I know it sounds sad, but it really does feel like a lot of situations I go through in my real life. Okay. Would I ever consider learning a new language? At this point in my life, no. When I was younger, I thought about other languages. I can understand Spanish, but I cannot speak it. For the most part, I can understand what someone's saying if they're speaking Spanish. But no, I'm not really going to be learning new languages at 41, about to be 41 years old. Okay. Would you consider having a fan meetup one day in the future? This is actually a tough question for me. It's actually significantly tougher than most content creators. Do you want to know why? Because, I hate to say it, as much as I have legit fans who I know would likely want to meet up with me and maybe have an autograph session and just shake my hand, hang out, have a discussion, chill for a little bit. There's a lot of scumbags out there, and all this insane amount of slander and defamation against me on the internet has sadly made a lot of people not like me and hate me, to the point where now they do messed up stuff. So, to give you an example, there was a perfect example of something we did a week ago. We were reacting to the Wings of Redemption second documentary by June the King. And Wings is just sitting there trying to play Call of Duty. And he's got someone following him around. Or was it Rainbow Six? It was one of the games. And someone's completely trolling this guy. Like making his life miserable. And he actually opened up voice comms with the guy. And he says, "Why are you doing this to me?" He says, I don't know you. Right? At all. I don't know you. I don't know you from anyone. Why would you harass me like this? And they said, "Oh, well, because I saw the Sunny V documentary. And the Sunny V documentary says you're a piece of shit. So I know that from that documentary that's true, And so now I'm going to treat you like a piece of shit. I'm going to harass you, right? To which Wings responded very, very calmly and honestly very intelligently. You do realize that everything on the internet is not true. The documentaries about me in a lot of cases have things out of context. They don't explain the full situation. You know, I'm not a perfect human. I have many flaws, but likely what you saw in that documentary is kind of exaggerated or not correct for the fact. To which the kid says, I don't care. Now I know you're a piece of shit. I'm going to harass you, right? So, just being quite honest here, right? Let's say that I decided one day I was going to go to a convention, right? I was going to go to the convention and, you know, you're in a situation where I'm going to meet up. I'd like you guys to know that I'll be at this convention. And if you'd like to meet up with me, perhaps I would like to be in this place at this time. If you would like to meet me and shake my hand to get an autograph, right? What's to stop one of these fucking nut jobs who saw all this nasty shit about me all over the internet to go there and try to pull something, right? Now, here's the thing. Am I afraid? No, I'm not. Do I think someone's going to come assault me and shoot me or something? No, I don't think that at all. But that doesn't mean that someone wouldn't try to harass or cause problems and make my life miserable. Why put yourself in that situation? If you know there's so much negative shit about you on the internet and there's so many people who are dumb and actually believe it all word for word, they don't understand that a lot of that is meant to be exaggerated for the purposes of entertainment, for the purposes of personal benefit. Let's face it, the more you exaggerate or the more you say is real that's not actually proven to be real, it'll give you clickbait. It gives you money. It gives you popularity. It makes the meme continue, right? Intelligent people get that. But sadly, not everyone on this planet is intelligent. There is an increasing group of stupid people who watch it on the internet and just fucking believe it. I mean, there's entire conspiracy groups on the internet that believe horse shit about government and fucking, you know, politics and all these insane conspiracies. It's just as bad. If they're that dumb to believe that, they're probably dumb enough to believe everything they've seen on YouTube about me, right? So if you've heard every insanely horrible thing, right, about you, what's to say someone won't believe it? And now let's have a meetup. And this person comes and tries to do all kinds of fucked up things, not only to me, but also to my viewers as well. Because you have to understand, again, when things happen, it's not just me, it's also my fan base that gets affected negatively, right? 2 weeks ago, all that drama didn't just affect me. It very much affected my viewer base, and they were very upset. Why do we have to go through that? All we want to do is enjoy your content. You're right. I made a mistake. I judged a group of people in a way that was incorrect. They were just, you know, once again, someone out to exploit, out to, you know, get a positive benefit off of my back, and they didn't care about the repercussions at all. They don't care that it affects me, that it affects my viewer base. They don't, you know, they don't have that moral compass like a lot of us do. All right? So there you go. And what happened? You know, a whole week of stress and drama and harassment and all kinds of shit that we had to put up with. And I'm sorry for that. I've already apologized for it, right? But let's say, for example, I say I'm going to go to a convention. There is a level of risk involved. And I don't know if the risk outweighs the reward. Does it make sense to take the incredible amount of risk to say I will meet up physically with a group of fans who then we could all somehow be negatively affected? We could be harassed. We could be trolled. We could have people doing really dumb shit. Let's be honest. Some really messed up stuff has happened to content creators in person. Take a look at fucking Ice Poseidon, right? So what's to say that crazy shit like that wouldn't happen? I can't prevent that from happening. You understand? I can't. I can't make crazy people not believe the dumb shit they've seen on the internet. And again, I have to reiterate, this is the problem with YouTube, thinking, oh, everything's just innocent. Oh, it's all just in good fun. That's how the internet works. No, this is how people get killed. Really, this is how people get fucking killed because you promote toxicity on the internet. You have a responsibility when you're a content creator who has a viewership and a viewer base to propagate positivity, not toxicity. If you propagate toxicity for personal gain, you're part of the insane problem with the internet, and you're the reason why people get hurt and killed because of trolling. It's fucked up. You think it's funny, it's not. You made a few bucks, now people get hurt because people believe your toxic bullshit. You understand? So, yeah, I have to really think big picture here, right? When I think about this, does it make sense? Does it really make sense for me to have a get-together with my viewers or fans who could actually end up being hurt in some capacity because we tried to meet in real life? It's fucked up to think that way, but that's what I mean. These are the questions I have to face. You know, I changed it. Oh, just go through life accepting everything will be good and happy and everything will be fine. I can't do that. I got too much going for me. I got a family I love. That you know, I got people I got to care about. I can't be doing this shit. You know. So that's life, and it sucks. Would I like to maybe meet with my fans? Of course I would. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I like to meet with some people who like the same stuff I do? I talk with every day. I'd love to meet some people from the chat who are regulars and stuff, and hang out, shake a hand, have a meal, have a drink, you know, shoot the shit. It's awesome. I did that back in the day, remember? Too Many Games, Screwtack Gaming Convention, MagFest. Those were amazing experiences with fans that we spent time. We played games at arcades together and shit. It was super fun. I don't think I can do that anymore because the internet took that away from me. I didn't do it. The internet took that away from me. The decade of harassment, the decade of toxicity that YouTube allowed, and everyone else just said, it's just joking. It's just jokes. Do you really think it's just jokes with the amount of fucked up things that have been happening? I don't think so. I think we're past the level of jokes. We're to the level of massive online harassment, to which the law should be involved in. But sadly, there's nothing online that can be done. Now, if someone tried to do something in real life, you call the police, but you're already setting yourself up for failure. You know what I mean? So yeah, it definitely 100% makes me feel like I probably shouldn't even be considering this kind of stuff. And that's sad because I would love to spend time with my viewers, but I can't. That ability seems to have been taken away from me by a group of toxic individuals who only cared about their own personal gain and had no moral compass whatsoever. You know? I can't make those people be better. They're not. In fact, the group is growing. You saw 2 weeks ago. Here's another group. Just another one. Just another group of people who treated me like shit for personal gain, and it continues. It's an endless cycle on YouTube. So I said to you guys, I'm done with this, you know, stepping out of my comfort zone in order to do anything at all that's going to be a risk. Why even bother with that? You know what I'm saying? Why even bother? I'm just gonna do my thing, enjoy my life with my wife. We'll do online content together that's safe, so that way we don't get fucked with. And what else can I do? You know, it sucks. I would hope that one day things would change. But it seems like the more that I've ignored it, because everyone says you don't entertain trolls, you ignore them. When you give them entertainment, when you give them the time of day and attention, that just makes them get worse. No, actually, it doesn't matter what I do, it gets worse. You know? I've tried both. I've tried completely ignoring. I've tried addressing. Neither of it does anything. No one cares. And they just keep doing what they do because they can get away with it. They don't care about anyone or anything but themselves. Selfish fucking people. So, in that regard, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going, again, I don't, at this point in my life, no, I don't see the benefit of putting people, myself, or others at personal risk. I just don't see it. You know? It could have been different. It definitely could have been different. I almost feel like 2 weeks ago could have been a turning point. But no one wanted to do that. No one wanted to care. It was all about, how do I fucking benefit from this and make someone else look like shit so I can look better and make money? So if that's how you want to be, that you can have it your way. You can have your toxic fucking internet and I'll be no part of it. I don't want to be any part of anyone's bullshit ever again. You're not going to make me the key part of success for your formula of toxic bullshit. I'm done with it. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. There's no point. I'm too old for this shit. I don't care about your fucking life and your toxic nonsense. You made a few dollars laughing at me. Fuck you. You know, I'm not going to give you that opportunity anymore. So, fuck off. And leave me alone and leave my fan base alone. We're just going to do our own thing on my channels, and I want nothing to do with anybody else. There you go. All right. One more question before we take a break. Okay? All right. From Castro Jenkins. When I was watching you play Street Fighter 6, during some matches you seemed kind of disappointed in the game. Maybe you weren't. However, my question is, what are your thoughts on newer fighting games and the direction the fighting game companies are going with their newer fighting games to appeal to more casual players and then finding ways to keep their game alive? See, without you specifically referencing something, Castro, I can't really answer it. I don't know exactly what you're referencing. When I was playing the Street Fighter 6 beta, there was a few observations that I made. All right? Personally, I didn't like the fact that I've totally forgotten what it's even called. Drive cancel, drive impact, is it? I think the drive impact moves were just too overpowered because the online play is better, but not there yet. And it was hard to react on reaction to those drive impacts, and people were definitely getting away with spamming them because of the super armor nature of the move and getting cheap hits leading to giant combos. It shouldn't be that way. If you're going to have a giant impact move that if it lands, it could end the round for you. That move should be insanely high risk, and you should only be able to do it once or twice a round tops. It's definitely a comeback mechanic. It's funny because a lot of people, oh, Street Fighter 6 doesn't have combat mechanics. Yes, it absolutely has combat mechanics. Okay? But that's the thing. Like, I felt like it was overpowered. You could just keep doing it. People were doing it 5-6 times in a row in a fucking match. Like, what is this shit? Why is it there? Why is it so overpowered and dramatically overpowered? I wanted them to nerf it. I don't know if they will in the final game or not. I feel like it's stupid. Again, unless you have like a perfect, pristine internet connection, it was very hard to ever react to the drive impact and get yours to blow through theirs and counter hit it. It just didn't seem like it was set up to really do that well. Outside of that, you know, playing a game for the first time and you're encountering a character or whatever, and you have no idea what this character's capabilities are, I'll be honest, yeah, it seemed like there were certain characters who would be throwing out normal attacks that were almost unstoppable. Really. It was like almost unstoppable. I'm sure that's not the case. As I said, the beta was very limited with what it had. So maybe there's going to be characters that are specifically meant and designed to beat other characters. There always seems to be this kind of rock, paper, scissors mentality to Street Fighter games. You know, the up-close grappler can usually beat the hybrid character, right? The hybrid character usually can beat the zoner, and the zoner usually can beat the up-close grappler. Right? That's what I mean, like a rock, paper, scissors. Maybe, and I'm fighting Jamie, and I'm trying to figure out how does Jamie work. Jamie had a low-medium kick that seemed to beat almost everything I was trying. I was like, I'm trying to counter-hit this thing. I'm trying to do everything. I can't stop this kick, and it's fast, and it doesn't really can't be punished. What am I supposed to do with this stupid kick? But maybe I don't know enough about the game, or maybe I just don't have the right character to focus on that and beat it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that when the full game is out, there's going to be a lot more options. I'm going to have the full range of grapplers, zoners, everything. There wasn't all of that in the beta. It was very limited with what was there. So actually having that ability to try all these different characters in different situations, I feel like it'll be a much better game to learn and enjoy. Now, casualizing of fighting games has been happening ever since Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 4 came out, Capcom decided they wanted this game to appeal to the masses. So they changed everything. For example, it used to be if you wanted to do a Dragon Punch or Shoryuken in Street Fighter, you would have to tap forward, down, and down forward like this with your finger to make a Shoryuken come out. That was the motion, and then you press a button. In Street Fighter 4, they said, let's dumb it down. So instead of having to do this complex motion, you literally would just mash like this at the corner and press punch, and you get a Shoryuken. So by dumbing it down, it appealed to the masses, but it also dumbed down the skill level required to play the game at any kind of a competitive level. So what you ended up seeing was more and more people playing competitively, but not necessarily the game being as tough to play. When a game is tougher to play, you're going to see higher level matches, more variety of gameplay. You're going to see skill. What's happened with Street Fighter, especially with Street Fighter 5, oh my god, the skill level went boop to play it, and the player base went oop up. But it's funny because you would say to someone who plays Street Fighter 5, man, this game's missing meaningful footsies. And half the players would be like, what's a footsie? They don't even understand the competitive terms of previous Street Fighter games because the game was dumbed down to the point where you didn't even need it. You understand? It became a pattern play game. So what I'm hoping is with Street Fighter 6, that's not the case. I hope that it's going to have a competitive skill level needed for entry into the competitive realm. Maybe not. Maybe it will have this easy level entry again if you just know basics. That was the problem I had with Street Fighter 5. But if you want to play it, at a competitive level, I'm really, really strongly hoping that Street Fighter 6 will have that high level competitive edge that Street Fighter 5 I felt did not. Alright? Alright, guys. That's it for part 2 of Ask the King. We have one more part left. I'm going to take a brief break live on stream. If you're here watching live, it'll be like a 5-minute break. If you're watching on demand, well, there will be a third part available to watch. And what we're going to do is do some forum questions, a couple Twitter questions, some shout outs, and we're going to open it up to the chat for final questions of the show. Thank you all for being a great audience, those who are watching, and those who supported it anyway, thank you as well. We'll be back shortly with the third and final part of Ask the King episode 95. Thanks, and I'll see you then.